He moved up in weight. He's beaten anybody that they put in front of him. He beat an undefeated fighter in Errol Spence that everybody thought was just like, you know, one of the best fighters out there, which he was.
Because boxing is not all about knocking somebody out. Yes, that's part of it. That can happen, but boxing is a sport where you can outpoint somebody too.
Training camp for Terence "Bud" Crawford's impending super middleweight matchup with Canelo Alvarez is already underway. Crawford had excellent footwork, quick combinations, and laser-like attention on his first day back. Strength, endurance, and strategic sparring against Canelo-style opponents are the main focus of his camp. Crawford maintains his confidence despite gaining 168 pounds, declaring, "I'm going to shock the world." The fight is scheduled to take place at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on September 12, 2025. Terence Crawford's training camp leg day is evidence of his commitment and self-control. He concentrates on strength and endurance, building lower body power with activities like resistance training, lunges, and squats. His footwork and balance are improved by this demanding workout, which is essential for his impending fight with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's dedication to every facet of training highlights his preparedness for obstacles in the ring.
Right.
How's that feel? Good light?
All right, let him up.
Good light? Nice. Try.
Three, pinch and build. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Terence Crawford's remarkable jab abilities are demonstrated during his pre-fight sparring sessions with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford uses his jab to control distance, break rhythm, and create combinations when facing opponents who try to imitate Canelo's technique. His fluid stance changes create complexity and throw opponents off balance. His preparation revolves around this calculated jab use, which aims to negate Canelo's strength and control the tempo of the fight.
Watch the right hand for the decoy.
Y'all know chess?
Nice. Nice. That's how Star work. You know how to work. You know how to get the most out of everything. Good job, champ.
Former world champion Andre Ward thinks Crawford's willpower and boxing acumen can help him get beyond Canelo Alvarez's weight difference. Ward highlights that despite size disparities, Crawford is a dangerous opponent due to his mental toughness and versatility.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you.
Another well-known boxing expert, Nonito Donaire, highlights Crawford's remarkable footwork and mobility. He contends that outwitting Canelo and winning a fight can be greatly aided by Crawford's skillful use of his legs.
Canelo's a stronger guy, the bigger guy, but in the fight with a guy that moves around, and if Crawford uses his skills and his legs and his technique and just his ability, I think he can win. He can win the fight in decision, as long as he doesn't get hit with those big shots from Canelo.
Having fought both fighters, Amir Khan observes that although Canelo is strong, he is still vulnerable to blows. Khan thinks Crawford is a difficult target because of his defensive prowess and fast reactions, which might give him the advantage in the battle.
I fought them both. Like, what are the differences between them?
Canelo's strong and is easily hit. Very easily hit, very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. They both hit hard because, and you could see the strength when I was fighting against Crawford. He is very strong as well. So, look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting Canelo?
Crawford's adaptability is praised by Shakur Stevenson, who says that Bud can do anything, no matter how big his opponent is. According to Stevenson, Crawford is a dangerous opponent for any fighter because of his versatility and ability to carry out different tactics.
Where do you think he could go?
Canelo
said he don't. He's like
Canelo, man. Canelo got to get off that shit. And I think the best versus the best.
You don't think the size difference is gonna play a factor again?
I mean, that's y'all opinion.
Yeah.
That's everybody else's opinion.
You don't
But
think
my
that?
opinion is different. I think that Bud could do anything that he want to do. I think that with Charlo, it was just a different story. I think Bud got the skills that can keep him at that high level with Canelo, where the size won't play a part. And I seen, honestly, like, Canelo is a great fighter. I don't take nothing away from him. I see a lot of hope.
Concerns have been raised about Canelo Alvarez's recent performance, especially his lackluster performance in their 12-round fight against William Skull. A record-low 445 punches were thrown by the two, highlighting Alvarez's lack of engagement and energy. Critics questioned his ability to compete with younger, quicker opponents like Terence Crawford and cited his decreased aggression. Alvarez was formerly renowned for his supremacy in the ring, but this performance has cast doubt on his ability to compete at the greatest level. Many are now unsure if his ability to handle a challenger like Crawford will be impacted by age and wear and tear.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but you know, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled.
Alvarez, who is usually regarded as having an aggressive style, only managed 152 punches, which raises questions about his agility and form right now. The 34-year-old champion's lack of intensity and lessened domination were criticized by some, who speculated that his performance may be affected by aging and ring wear. With a difficult fight against Terence Crawford looming, this lackluster performance has raised doubts about Alvarez's capacity to hold on to his elite ranking.
And it left us with the question, how much does Canelo actually have left in his pro career? The fight was finished, and then they brought Terence Crawford in the ring to announce that mega fight in September, and that leaves me with even more questions, and thank God they did that, because actually it gives us a few interesting talking points from this. Enough left. Well, you could argue Canelo got it tactically wrong tonight, because I just don't understand why he didn't use his jab more. I understand that he was conserving energy, he was patient, he was taking it slow. He doesn't lead off with the jab much anymore, Canelo, But really, the jab helps you bring your feet closer and bring them into range. So I don't understand why he wasn't jabbing more. He can't use that much extra energy for him to not be able to use his lead hand just a bit more in that fight. So that was a bit concerning. And you could maybe argue that he knows Crawford's ringside. He knows the fight is done for September. He maybe doesn't want to show him too much, or he wants to give him maybe false confidence or false hope. I don't think that's the case. I think you get rid of Skull if you can. And I'm just not sure Canelo is able to do it anymore at that level. Definitely good enough to beat a guy like Skull. Skull was clearly terrified of the power, but, you know, what does this mean for a fight like Crawford? Well, the first thing I noticed was in the face-off, and I'm sure Crawford was wearing quite thick-soled trainers, as he quite often does, but the size difference didn't look that bad. It really didn't. Like, I thought there was way more of a size difference between them. But actually, Canelo, yes, will weigh more on the night, almost questionably, but Crawford's taking the whole year to work his way up to 168, having been at 154 in his last fight. That's like 14 pounds, which is 7 kilos difference of weighing on the night. Now, Canelo would probably be like 10, 15 pounds heavier than him, but at the end of the day, what Skull was able to do in there tonight...
That concludes the video for today.